Thanks for joining me. I realise there's a little bit of conflict of interest at the moment. I just saw a notification that my upline Donna has just gone live as well. So um, I won't ask you to choose between us. So if you pop over and watch Donna, that's all well and good. I'm happy for you to pop back and watch the replay here, which is just fine and be just as good. So, but if you do pop on here live, I'm very, very glad to have you as well. And I can see there's a couple of people who've popped on already. If once you get on, please let me know you're on. Let me know where you're from. If it's your first time, please let me know that as well. It's love to see first timers popping on to YouTube and Facebook. Great, I've got a fair few popping on. That's really nice to see. Anyway, so I can see Judy's there. Hi, Judy. Anyway, today, and I think Donna and I are actually doing the same bundle as well. So you will get a wealth of happiness abounds this morning if you're traveling around the crafting live video scene. Anyway, so I am very mindful that this bundle is not available to customers yet. And rest assured that over the next couple of weeks, I won't exclusively do videos for the brand new catalogue items, because I am mindful that can be a little bit frustrating if you're not a demonstrator and you haven't been able to get hold of it yet. So I will go back to the old currently available stuff as well, so rest assured. But I just wanted to show you this one today because I was so excited when it turned up on my doorstep during the week, and the colors are just so bright and beautiful. I just wanted to give you guys something to look forward to. And of course, if you absolutely adore these products, please, 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 you can join my team if you live in Australia, and you can get them early as well. So, it's not lost to you just because you're not a demonstrator at this point. But anyway, that's just a little plug for my team. Anyway, so there's a few coming on. That's terrific. Thanks for joining me. Okay, so this is the card I'm going to do today, or one of the cards. I'm actually going to do two today. And this one I wanted to do to show you firstly, the Happiness Abounds Bundle, which is the flowers and the sentiments, but also the in colours, which are here on my right. Beautiful, bright colours this time. We've had a fair few common the last few years have been sort of dusty, sort of smoky colours, but these are all pretty bright colours, pretty lovely sort of primary colours almost. We've got 3 blues. 1, 2, 3, and a green. So as I've said, I'm a happy girl, and this beautiful bright red as well, which is called Sweet Sorbet. Very similar to Poppy Parade, but almost it's got a slight pink tinge to it. So if you anything you see today, and if you've just got Poppy Parade at home, you could well and truly get away with that. I haven't got my blends as yet because I was putting them off till the next order so I could take advantage of some bonuses that I was due. So I actually did all my colouring with my water painter. So that's what we're going to do today. So just using the inks and my watercolour brush. So we're going to do that. So we might as well do this one first, and then I'll bring in the second one. I think the second one is my favourite. Absolutely glorious. Wait till you guys see it. I am actually going to be using the in colour matte decorative dots as well. So they're really nice in those bright new in colours as well. So to make this card, I have my usual card base. I'll move everything out of the way. Please tell me if this background gets a bit weird because I haven't got a grid paper over the top of it, which I usually do. I just thought I'd try it against the darker background today. But if it gets a bit swirly, let me know and I'll pop a grid paper on there. So we've got our normal size card base, 5.5 by 8 1/4, scored in the middle. So that's our card base there. Then I've got a panel of this is one of the brand new colours. So this is and I still have to get them in my brain. This is the Parakeet Party. So this is our bright green. I was going to bring in some Granny Apple Green to show you because that's the closest colour. I think this is Granny Apple Green here. No, that's exactly the same. So close that I actually am getting them mixed up myself. Granny Apple Green. This is Granny Apple Green. This is Granny Apple Green. Here you can see it's a darker, so it's like it's like a green apple. Parakeet Parade is that shade lighter. It's very reminiscent of what was that one we had? There was a lime one we had, which name's in my head and I can't remember it, but yeah, so it's a bit similar to that one, sort of quite bright. So I've got a layer of that, which is 1/8 of an inch smaller, so you can see that there. Then I've got another layer of basic white, and this one I've popped through my die cutting machine, you can see there, with the die out of the new bundle. So it's got this die that basically pops, and I've never really been one for those sort of dies that pop holes in things, but I recently did one with a tulip card, I think, and I thought, wow, that's really nice. So anyway, it's got this die here. So I've just popped that on there, popped it through my cut and emboss, and it leaves that really nice sort of coloured background. So that's why I've got the nice bright green behind, because with the holes in it, it will show through. Yes, Jenny, you're right. It doesn't really, the video doesn't do justice to some of the colours, but yeah, pop online. Everyone can pop online when they come available and you'll see them in their true glory. So anyway, we've got that die that I've used there, and I'll be careful because that one's just dropped out. I haven't put them on my magnets yet. Okay, so I've got that, and because it looked a bit plain with that, I have popped that through my Tasteful Textiles embossing folder. That is one of my favourite embossing folders, and it's actually Tasteful Textiles. It's actually retiring with the catalogue, so I don't know what I'm going to use in its place. If you like that one, and if it's still available, pop in and grab that one before it retires. But anyway, I've popped my panel through that just to take some of the blandness off the white cardstock. Okay, so then I'm going to use some of the stamps from the stamp set. So this is the Happiness Abounds stamp set here. Lots of flowers. This one looks very much like a poppy, but I think it might be meant to be a sort of like a peony rose or something, sort of an antique rose, because these other ones look definitely like roses. So they might be meant to be roses, and this one's just a specific one that's sort of opened up. Cute little daisies there and some leaves as well. The really good thing about this sentiment, I think, this stamp set, I think, is the sentiments. So we've got a happy birthday, congratulations, thank you, friend. So it's a fairly sort of standard all use sentiment there. So if you're new to Stampin' Up, that might be one to consider for, what basically is our stock in trade, basically flowers and a fairly sort of standard sort of suite of sentiments there, but very, very nice, and I love the fonts of them. Okay, so what I'm going to do is stamp various ones. I have actually, just to save your time and mine, is I have stamped and coloured a few already, but I am actually going to do all of them, and I just die cut what I need to add to there. But I want to do something in all of the colours so you can at least try and see them a little bit better. I wonder actually whether the colours are not standing out because I haven't got my grid paper behind. Bear with me, I'm going to grab some grid paper anyway. And then that might help the colours a wee bit. There we go. So it might be nicer. Oh, I've ripped my grid paper, but that's okay. The colours might stand out better against white than green, depending on the camera. We'll see. Okay, so what I've already got, but I will, as I say, I will colour them again. As I've got this flower in, this is in the Tahesian Tide. This one is in the Orchid Oasis. As you can see, you get the shades of light and dark when you use the aqua pen. This is the darker blue, so this is the Starry Sky. Okay, and this little leaf is in the Parakeet Parade, I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, Parakeet Party. So the really only colour that I'm missing is the red one, so I'm going to start with that. And as I say, I've got my aqua painter, my aqua marker here. And so just clean it off a wee bit from yesterday's usages. And I'll start with the Sweet Sorbet. So what I do when I aqua paint, and it's everyone's different, I don't go straight onto the stamp set or the back of the ink pad or the ink pad itself. I just pop a general ink block straight into the ink, and then I sort of use that as my palette almost. I'll just use my aqua painter. So I'll start with this. I'll do this one on the end here, this rose, and all I'm going to do is just paint it with the ink. So this red, I suppose if we're looking for comparable colours, as I say, is very similar to Poppy Parade, but it's got a pink tinge to it, if you're looking for comparable colours. I hope everyone's having a nice Easter. We had a very quiet day yesterday. We're not big social Easter people. Tend to stick to ourselves a fair bit. I popped up and saw my parents, obviously, and my kids came over for a bit, but we didn't do anything special meal or anything like that, which I know some people in my family do. Tend to have a meal on Sunday. Don't know, everyone sort of handles their Easters slightly different, don't they? Some people are really social, some people tend to go quiet. So there's that red rose done there with the sweet sorbet. So while I've got them all here, I will paint these other flowers for you, but I won't necessarily use them. I will use that red rose, but I won't necessarily. I'm going to use the leaves at the end. Okay, so I'll do one in Orchid Oasis, the next flower. Again, I'm just going to drop my block into the ink. Get a good idea of the colour there, all sort of blocked up. You can see that. Oh, now you can see it all over my paper as well. So again, I'm just going to get my aqua painter and paint this one. Just squeeze a wee bit of water out. So this has come out quite watery now. I've really squeezed out too much water. I'm just using basic cardstock here because I wasn't actually planning on squeezing out quite as much water as came out then. But you could use watercolour paper if you're worried about watercolour painting on plain cardstock, or you could use the shimmer. Actually, that was what I was going to do. Use the shimmer paper, which also stands up quite well to watercolouring as well. But because they were just little flowers, I forgot all about that. Not one for my own lessons, am I? So that one's come out quite watery, but you can tell the colour there. I might go over just darken it down a bit. This design of the card I'm making, you could use any flower stamp set that you've got, any sentiment really. It's a fairly generic design, so I'm not restricting it just to this Happiness Abounds, of course, by any stretch. So that's our Orchid Oasis. I might go Starry Sky next because it's the dark one. And as that Orchid Oasis dries, you'll notice that it lightens up a bit. This one is very dark and very beautiful. Let's clean off my brush. A little bit of water this time, not a huge amount. And it's just exactly as says on the box, Starry Sky. So it's like a deep, dark, beautiful night sky. I will compare it to Night of Navy, I think. I think it's a bit more of a navy blue than Night of Navy. Oh, Night of Navy sort of gives it away, doesn't it? I don't know. Someone who's better with colours can probably explain what the difference is Is Margie on? Margie's very good with colours. One of my team. She'd tell me. She's an actual artist, not a pretender like me. So she'd know the technicalities of colours. Anyway, you can see that this is a lot darker than the Orchid Oasis anyway. So I'm expecting my blends to turn up this week. As I said, they were in my second pre-order. Just sort of delayed getting everything just a little while. Can't have too many good things arriving on your doorstep in the one go. It just takes all the fun out of it. Okay, so that's our, what do we call? Starry Night. Then I'll do one in, what's the other one? Tahesian Tide. And then I'll do my leaves in that I need. I need some leaves. I'll do them in the green, in the Parakeet Party. Yes. I'll bring them closer in a minute and you guys can have a wee look and tell me what you think. Yes. Quite strange, I suppose, doing blue flowers, but they do look lovely together as well. And you put them together, they sort of complement each other. Okay. So this is Tahesian Tide. I suppose that's the nearest comparable we'd have for that would be Balmy Blue, but it's different to Balmy Blue. It's more of it's almost darker than Balmy Blue, so maybe slightly darker than Balmy Blue. Okay, so that's our blues. So we've got our Sweet Sorbet, our Orchid, I'm going to have to remember these, aren't I, eventually, Orchid Oasis, our Starry Sky, and our Tahesian Tide. So along there, those are our three so far. Just going to grab the green and I'm going to do those couple of leaves because I actually need them for my card. And I'm going to use the red one, the very first one as well. So just a couple of sweeps on that. I love the long sweeping strokes when you're using your aqua painter. Makes me feel like a proper painter. Yeah. So I'm just going to use those, die cut those out and use those on my card. I don't want to lose that because it's going to be there. Okay, so I'll clean off my aqua painter later. I'll get off most of the colour. Okay, so where's my little baby? Here we go. I've got my mini cut and emboss here. I'm going to stand up because it's much easier to die cut when you're standing up than sitting down. As I say, I want the first one in the red colour and I want the two leaves. So I'll just die cut those. And then I have the rest of what I want already prepared. So we are expecting a magnetic plate for both of our machines, our standard size machine and our mini machine during the life of this next catalogue. So if you have those machines and you, like me, been hanging out for the magnetic plate, just keep an eye out on, I'm not sure that it will be available day one, but it should be, as I say, available during what they've said, the life of the catalogue, which means probably the next 12 months, hopefully sooner rather than later, but unless somebody's heard something that I haven't. That's what the most recent I have heard. So I'm really looking forward to having a Stampin' Up magnetic plate for my machine, and there goes the die. So just these couple of little leaves. The little machine is just so handy just for small things like this. The base is only, well not only, base is 3.5 inches wide. So it does have a whole range of specially designed embossing folders that of course you can use in your big machine, but you can also use in this little machine as well. I think this would be perfect if you were a crafty caravanner. Imagine if you were off in your caravan and you didn't have room for the big machine, you could get your crafty fix with the mini machine instead and save all that space. It does need a little bit, I won't tell a lie, you need to put a bit more pressure on it, a bit more downward pressure when you're using it, because obviously it doesn't have a lot of weight. Doesn't have a lot of weight behind it, so it can sort of move around a wee bit. But if you put that downward pressure on it, probably, as I say, stand up when you're using it, it's perfectly fine. And as I say, just a perfect little size there. Anyway, advertisement over. So I'm going to use the red one that I've cut and the leaves and the other colours that I've already shown you. Okay, I can sit down again now. Okay, so we might as well layer this one up. I'm going to pop the green layer down first. The parakeet party. Sometimes I feel like there's a parakeet party happening outside this window. Some sort of party. I know when the apples are ready on the machines, on the trees in our backyard, the parakeets come and have a lovely party. My husband goes up to try and save some apples for us, and they just mock him from the trees. That's all right. They deserve some too. There's plenty there. So I'm going to pop this one on so that the most of that colour, most of that cutting, that die cutting is to the right-hand side, just so that you can see it when I decorate with my flowers on the right-hand side. A sapphire blue, Cheryl. Yes, you're exactly right. That's what it is. It's more like a sapphire blue. That which one were we talking about? The Starry Sky. Okay, so that's the base for this one. As you can see that that green through that nice die cutting. Okay, so what we're going to do next is arrange our flowers. So I've got two blue ones that are going to sit. Which way was I going to do them? I'm going to sit one behind and one in front, and then I'm going to have the others sort of nestling in behind. So I'll have the red one. I'll put the red one up over here because it's really the different colour, isn't it? And then the darker blue one off to the right. So that's what. Then I'll bring my leaves in. Then my sentiment. We can't forget our sentiment. So what I'm going to do very simply, I've got a strip, an inch wide strip of the parakeet party, then 7/8 of an inch wide piece of designer series white cardstock. I'm going to stamp the little friend from the stamp set. Nice and simple, just friend. There we are. I could use best wishes. I wanted something fairly short, just because it needs to fit in behind all those beautiful flowers. So I'm going to just use black ink. I couldn't work out which colour to use, so I thought, no, I'm not going to offend any of them. I'm going to use black instead. So I'll just pop the friend just as straight as I can without being over the top of it. Just there. So isn't that nice? It's sort of like, it leads on from the start to the end. So I'm wondering actually whether it's designed to connect to some of these other ones. We'll have to have a bit of a play and see how it goes. Anyway, so that's my sentiment. I'm going to just glue that onto the strip of Parakeet Party. Just so it shows out a tiny bit. And then I'm going to pop that straight onto the card. So just gluing it. Try and get it straight. There we are. That actually looks, I don't know how it looks on your screen, but actually looks quite yellow on what my feedback screen here. So hopefully you're not put off thinking that that's yellow. It's not really. It's just a lovely, bright, sort of lime green almost. I'm trying to think out what the lime was that we had a few years ago. Lemon lime. I'm thinking lemon, lime and bitters, but it's not. Lemon something it was, but it was really nice. So it's a little bit like that. Okay, so let's pop the rest of these on. Just trying to mimic the setup that I had in the other card. It's a little bit hard because I've used slightly different flowers, but that's okay. And then this one I'm going to pop on some dimensionals, if I can find them. There they are. Now the centres of these flowers, the big ones, the big open one, I've just coloured with a smoky slate blend, and well, one of them I did, this one, I've done it with a smoky slate blend, but then I was going to just grab my black right marker and just sort of speckle that a bit just to darken it down. You can see a bit of the grey, but not a lot. So this one I'm going to just, I'm going to put it the right way, just pop it so it overlaps the others a wee bit, but nestles into that sentiment as well. There we are. Isn't that just so nice and bright? It's really cute. Probably a little bit brighter than I normally would. I've sort of been doing lots of subtle colours lately. This is probably a little bit brighter than anything I've done for a while. Probably a little bit brighter than my own personal taste, to be honest. But I just definitely wanted to show you these beautiful bright colours. Go up in there. Go on. There we are. And just another leaf. Here we are. So that's that one. As I say, slightly different colours. I've got different colours in the original one, but they are the same 5 colours. I've just used them on different flowers. So that's the 2 cards there. I was going to also bring in the 22-24 in colour matte decorative dots and pop a couple of those around as well. I used the green ones on the original card. I might use, which ones will I use on this one? Might use the Tahesian Tide ones on this card. And they come in sort of 3 or 4, or actually probably 5 different tones, from really dark right down to really light. So I might use the light ones this time, just for something a bit different, because I don't want to use all my dark ones all at once. These are really nice. I love this blue. I like all blues. What am I saying? Though that was, I don't know anyone who's my age who has a parent, my mother's age, remember my mother used to always say, there was an old saying, blue and green should not be seen, lemon lime twist. Thank you, Donna. Oh no, who was that? Janelle, lemon lime twist. My mother used to say, blue and green should not be seen unless there's a colour in between. That was her saying, like you didn't wear blue and green together unless you had a, I don't know, red something or a black something or something in between the two. You didn't put them together. So these days, obviously, that rule's gone out of the window because we've got blue and green together all the time. Does anyone remember their mum or themselves saying that saying years ago? And silver and gold. She'd never wear silver and gold. Probably still doesn't. Silver and gold jewellery, she wouldn't wear them together. You had to be all silver or all gold. You didn't mix the two. I think that was it was a wives' tale about it being bad luck or something. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, definitely blue and green weren't together, which was difficult because I think my school uniform was blue and green. Now that I remember it, anyway, cool. Okay, so they're my two cards with the stamp set and the in colours. So as I say, probably a little bit brighter than I would normally go, but it hopefully gives you some idea of what we've got to look forward to over the next couple of years. Okay, this one is probably my favourite for today. So if you've hung around this long, you're going to be rewarded no end. If you have to nick out for something, please come back real quick. I'm going to be using the designer series paper, and this is the designer series paper called Hues of Happiness, and it goes with the whole bundle go together. So they're the same sorts of flowers. You can see it's the same flowers there on this designer series paper, and in true Stampin' Up form, thankfully, when you grab the dies, and I've got to make sure I put them the right way or I'm going to make a liar of myself, the dies actually cut out the images. Oh, there, that's it up there. I was trying to find the right rows. So as you can see here, this die will cut out that little rose there, and the leaf will cut out the leaf. So you can actually just go through a whole sheet of paper and just cut out all the roses and use them on your cards, or all the flowers, which is really nice. Of course, designer series paper only lasts for a year, so that's why you have to have the stamp set as well. So that's exactly what I've done here. So this is this same sheet of designer series paper here. It fits together like this. And so these were all pink. Can't remember what pink it was. Oh, I should look at it, shouldn't I? Flirty Flamingo, I think. Then Gorgeous Grape, and then there's a blue, and then there's, I think that's Pool Party, and then there's Bermuda Bay. So yes, you've got flowers of differing shades. So all I've done is grab my designer series paper, use the dies, and I've cut out all the pink flowers there. They are so pretty, just so pretty. And if I can find them, oh, they're here in front of me. They are so pretty. Wait till you see these. So I've got the leaves, I've got the flowers. They've got, they are, now when I do my designer series paper cutting out, obviously that was only a part one because it was over the edge of the paper. Cut that out as well because you can always use it. You can sort of snuggle that cut behind something and no one will ever know that it's only a part flower. So no wastage at all. So yeah, they're really, really pretty flowers, and you can use the dies to cut them out and the leaves. So I've got a whole series of those, which I'm going to use in this card. This is such a pretty card, and I only say that because I got the initial idea for it off Pinterest, but was using a different stamp set. Okay, again we've got a standard white, basic white thick card base, 5.5 by 8.25, scored in half. So that's my standard white. Then I've got a basic white panel, and I have popped this through and thankfully it is continuing because it is one of my favourite stamps die embossing folders, the painted texture embossing folder. So it's got it looks like somebody's sort of got a paint, not a paintbrush even, just a paint palette sort of thing, and gone all over it. It's got some lovely textures. So if you like that one, it is continuing, so you can get that one if you like it. So, past the 4th of May. Anyway, so that's another white panel, and that's 1/4 of an inch smaller. So I'm going to use, that's 5 1/4 long. Then I've got all my beautiful flowers, and I've got a circle. This is actually granny apple green, so it's slightly darker because that's the green from the leaf. And then I've got a circle of white as well. So what I'm going to do is basically, I'm going to put my sentiment on that white circle there, and I'm going to bring these beautiful flowers and leaves all down and around, just sort of forming a spray down the left-hand side. So I want to have them at slightly different orientations so they don't look all too samey. Now I want to use one of those cut up ones so I don't waste it. So just a little bit like that. So how's that? What do you think? Obviously that's got a little bit misaligned now, but that's roughly what I'm going for, sort of having it down the left-hand side there, a little bit like that. So let's pop those on. So what I might do is I will pop the sentiment box on. Well, actually, I'll pop my embossed panel on first. Just get that in the middle. So the white on white is quite nice actually. It's almost sort of elegant in its simplicity. There you go. I should write ads. There you go. So that's our embossed panel on there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop our whisper white, basic white. Still haven't let go of the whisper white days. Onto my granny apple green circle. These are just the layering circles, so they're a die set that's available at the moment. Then I'm going to grab a sentiment. You are wonderful in every way. I think I like that one. You are wonderful in every way. So I'm going to pop that towards the, what am I thinking? The right hand, if I can. Let's see. It's quite a large sentiment, isn't it? You are wonderful. I want it there. So we get the whole thing. Yeah, I'll do that. They're quite large sentiments. There's not a small one, so to speak. Even best wishes is quite large. How large is best wishes? Yeah, large, I mean wide. They're all very wide. Probably would have preferred, in this case, probably just a short, sharp, compact. But we'll go with this one because we are featuring this stamp set. So I should use it. There we are. You are wonderful in every way. Now hopefully that'll fit on. Let's make it smaller. Let's use a smaller one. Yep, that's better. And bring another bigger one in there. There we go. That's even nicer. I think I really like that. Hopefully you guys do too. And then it always makes it very special once you bring the leaves in also. Leaves just make everything lift. What do you think? I haven't glued anything down yet, but that's my idea there. What do you think? I think that's really, really nice. Give me a heart or a thumbs up if you think that that's pretty nice. I think I'm quite happy with the placement as well. There we are. Anyway, so I'll probably never get that the same again. I've got plenty of flowers left over. I probably won't get it exactly the same, but at least I've had the image in my head. Let's try that. Move everything away. It'll never be the same. Okay, so we'll pop this on. I'm not using any dimensionals at the moment, and I think we'll be okay without them. And I haven't also worked out what if I need any bling either, so we'll work that out as we go. Okay, so let's see if I can remember how we had this. I had a big one up here, and then I had this little rose here because I was running out of space. And then I think I had another big one here, so we might pop those on. Yeah, let's pop those on. And you can see why I stamped the sentiment first, because I basically want to come in and around it. You guys headed out, are you? Going for a walk. Okay. That was my youngest and his partner going for a walk. Sammy's trying to shed some kilos, I think. Not that he'd say it, and not that I'd say anything, but I think that's what it is. Bring that one in underneath. We'll bring in these other ones. And I think I've moved everything, haven't I? I mean, they're roughly the same spot, but I don't think they're exactly the same spot, but that's okay. I'm glad you like it, Lee. Lee said it's gorgeous. They are gorgeous pink flowers, they are. And it's not birthday. Well, sort of. I don't know. Is it birthday? Does it qualify? Yes, Judy, that would be a lovely way to make sure you've got everything in place. It's a little bit hard when you're doing videos, though. How does she take photos of them when she's doing videos? I'm using my phone to watch the comments. So anyway, but yeah, I'm sure you could probably do that. I just think it's more important to talk to you guys rather than sitting here taking videos and pictures of myself. But anyway, that's all good. Everyone does things in a different way. And I'm sure if I've moved it a bit, it's still pretty. No, I don't think I need that one. I might leave that off. There we are. Okay. So I think that one's pretty much all flowered up. I think that's just so pretty. I really like those flowers. I'm going to make sure I stock up on this paper and leaves in the wrong spot. Yes. Oh, well. It's all right. It'll be fine. Maybe I could use a leaf over there. I think it does actually need something. I know my youngest has a photographic, what's the word? Photographic memory. So he would actually be able to take a photograph in his brain just by looking at it. But yeah, I don't know where he got that from. I think he got it from his dad, not from me, because I definitely forget. As soon as I lift it away, it's forgotten pretty much. There you are. So bling. Let's do some bling, shall we? Probably, what have we got? So we've got normal bling. No. Oh, no, I don't like those. I mean, I like them, but not for this. What have we got? Butterflies? No. I think probably just some iridescent gems, if I can find them. Here they are. Let's just pop some iridescent. Yes, definitely. Some iridescent jewels on there. And that will make it just about perfect, I think. As I said, I think this is my favourite card for the day. I love the colours and everything, but this is pretty. This paper is pretty special. So I will be doing a paper share once all the papers come available. So the papers, what I do is I'll normally pick 7 or 8 of the papers from the new catalogue, and I will sell quarter packs of each of those. So I'll bundle them all together. So you get a quarter pack of each of those papers as part of the share. And then you can actually try the papers to see if you like them before you buy. So it's quite a good deal. So there's nothing worse than getting a whole packet of paper and realizing you really just don't like it. So this is basically a good way of, try before you buy. So, and often we get a pack of paper and only use a quarter of it anyway, so it's a good way to save some money as well. So watch out for the paper share. This one will definitely be in it. I think there's a couple of others that are really pretty that will definitely be in it as well. So I haven't actually worked out the details completely, but as I say, it's a really good way of trying the papers without committing to the full price per pack and getting a nice sample. So there we are. That's my two cards for today. I've got my in colour one there with the water colouring flowers, and then this beautiful, which I'm really, really pleased with the way it's turned out, this beautiful one using the die cut flowers from the designer series paper. So really, this is a lovely catalogue. I'm not allowed to show you the middle of it yet or anything inside it yet. It takes off on I think it's the 4th of May. I have supplies here. If you haven't got a demonstrator and you haven't bought from me before, I have supplies of catalogues here. I'm happy to arrange to pop them in the post for you. If you have bought from me in the last year, you should get one of these automatically from Stamping Up, because I've already submitted my customer orders. So that should be winging its way to you very soon. I can't wait for you all to see it. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. It's been lovely to see you all on. If you have any questions about any of these products, please yell out, and I will promise I won't go over the top with the new ones. I will keep featuring current products as well, but as I said, I just couldn't resist showing you those two today. Have a great weekend, have a great Easter, and I will see you all next time.